I love my girl be calling me king. She knows that I got royalty in my veins. Keeping it real while I'm holding it down. Knows that I got loyalty to this game. So who's the next up is a great debate. Got no form, but I'll raise the stakes. All gassed up and I'm robo-charged.
What's up, y'all?
That's why I go so hard.
Just in the
I
zone,
can't quit, I spit like a
4BarLoop
preacher.
with Nytelife. And I have my guest today, one of the most talented spiritual, if you want to call them gospel, if you want to call them religious rappers that are out right now. Sammie Award-winning artist. Gotta give him his flowers and give him his due for that.
Come on, man.
The homie Kennedy Wrose. What up, man?
Hey. Appreciate that intro, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on here, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. Hey, it's good to have you on here. So, how's your night going? How's your week? Whatever. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. You know, just had some Thai food tonight. So, yeah, man. We did did like my first little like live stream concert since, you know, on Saturday, since not being able to do shows.
Yeah.
But the people who I did it with was a DJ Stace Lace. I mean, they had a really dope setup at their house. So was able to do that Saturday, and so that was like my first time performing this year, like at all. So that felt good, man. That was just good to get out there.
Man, you got one up on me. I ain't even got to hit a stage this year. But
Didn't you guys do
oh yeah, we did. I'm now see I'm discounting myself. Yeah, we did. Right before COVID hit. We actually right when COVID hit.
Yeah, it was like
That's
yeah,
right.
like you guys got like literally like things shut down on Sunday. You guys performed like Saturday or something.
Yeah, man, we made it right under the cut. Yeah. So as far as let's get started, man. The first thing people want to know is your name is interesting. So I got this little segment we call "What's in a Name." So how did you get your name? And I guess if that ties into how you got your start, you can tell me that too.
All right. So I first started out with the name The Gift, which was an acronym to heaven and earth, God is forever the truth. And I like that acronym, so I was running with that for like a while. And this was like in the 2000s. And I was running with that. But then, this was kind of like MySpace days and like all that. When you looked it up, there was another rock band called The Gift. If you Google it, there's a movie called The Gift. So there wasn't anything that I can really get to me. And plus there's all those periods in between. I was like, that's going to be like too much. So I was sitting with my wife and I was like, I need a new name. And my middle name's Kennedy. And we were just kind of discussing about my life and just kind of like what would fit with me. And, I kind of always been like that guy, like on the fence, who was kind of just like always kind of just like down for whatever. Right. Just kind of always just kind of like went with the tide, like wherever the tide was going was where I was going. But I felt like I finally got to a place where I was like, you know what, like that ain't really working for me anymore. You know what I mean? Like I want my yes to be yes, my no to be no. If I'm either going to show up or I'm not going to show up at all. So, so it was like Kennedy Wrose was how I rose out from the middle. I rose out and I got now like my stance is here or my stance is there, So that's how like the whole name came about. Fun fact is that there's actually a country band from the 80s called Kennedy Wrose, Rose. So for copyright reasons, I had to put the W on there just to kind of get it my own. But when I made my logo and branding, like that W's been working for me. Great.
Yeah, people can't get mixed up, man. It's gonna be easy to find you. That's one of those big things out there with these search engines and playlists and stuff like that. You want to be an easy find out here, man. So,
right.
If your name is Thug out here, you probably gonna have a tough time on these playlists.
Like a J Rock, like this is like so many of those.
Yeah, man. All right, so as far as how you got your start in the hip hop and also religious hip hop.
So it was probably like me and my homeboys would like rap in high school, and they were like really good at freestyling. Like one of them can beatbox, the other one would freestyle. So we would just be in the car, and one of them would just he can freestyle. My boy's name Brandon. He was able to freestyle the whole song. Like we just have like these instrumental CDs. He's going whole songs long, and then after the next beat goes in, he'll be like, "All right, bro, it's your turn." And mind you, like I'm driving, so he's like just freestyle. So I'm going, and I might give you like a good 8, 12,
right?
You know what I mean? But then I just start messing up, and you know how it goes. Like when it's not connecting, you know. But he would just tell me, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So then I would just keep going, even when I'm saying nothing. But then I'll jump back on track. So we would do this like every day after school, and so to the point where like I'm doing full songs long, or like now we have like these concept freestyles, you know, and we're like really going back and forth. I was always big on the writing, but he really got me into like the freestyling, and I was in like a couple of groups, like rap groups in like the early 2000s, but none of that music ended up seeing the light of day. We just didn't have the kind of resources to get stuff mixed and mastered, and like it was more of like something we just did for fun, but I really wanted to see it come out. So, but anyway, so that never came out. But then 2013 was when I dropped my first mixtape, and I was like, you know, I finally bought like studio equipment, and like my wife had, she had really affirmed me, and she was like, because I was always kind of on the fence with like rap, like is this something I should really pursue, or am I just, this is something I can just do for fun? And she was like, nah, like God really gave you this gift for a reason. And my boy would always implement that too. He's like, and God didn't just give it to you for yourself. Cause I would write these bars and share with my friend. He'd be like, bro, people need to hear this, you know? He's like, God just didn't give you this like for yourself. So like figure out how you can do this. And so 2013 came out with my first mixtape, and then just let that thing kind of do what it did, which wasn't much because I didn't know anything about marketing. I thought like, I'm just a rapper. Like I just rap, I'll put out music, but I understood like you gotta like consistently put stuff into people's face, and it being a rapper forces you to get into that entrepreneurial mindset, which it took me to drop my first mixtape to understand that. So then like fast forward like 15, like I'm like getting heavy in the Sac music scene. I'm doing like open mics, I'm doing shows, like I'm winning competitions. Like I'm hungry. I'm going because I was working on my debut album. So I was like, when this drops, like I want people to know who I am already, you know, more than just my church, you know? Yeah. So 16 dropped the debut album, which did way better than the mixtape, sounded way better than the mixtape. Production, lyrical ability, everything was just better on that debut album. And just since then, man, just kept it pushing. Soon came festivals, soon came out of town shows. You know, asking, you know, I was judging rap competitions, and now people hitting me up for features, and so it just kind of grew like that.
All right, so as far as you being, you know, a religious rhymer, man, so has that always been the case from the beginning, the start of your rap career, or were you doing like secular stuff before that?
So like in the 2000s, I was definitely doing like it was more of like a secular rap. Like I lost the iPod that it was on, but I had a crazy like mixtape that was on there that like if it ever sees the light of day, like there's no way this guy could. I'm getting stones thrown if people heard that mixtape. But no, so I didn't always start out that way. But then in 2009 was when like I really like rededicated like my life to God, and I was like I'm really in this now, and got around some like a dope community, and got around some like real guys that were like really after stuff. And the church that I was going to at the time called Epic Life, I mean it changed everything for me, and just with marriage, with music, like anything that like I was always afraid to pursue, that ministry just gave me the confidence to pursue and like let me know that like God's all for that, and God put those desires in you to come out. So if this is what you want, let's rally around you and let's make this happen. So so that's like, if you listen to my 2013 mixtape Destined to Rule, like it's real like clear Christian hip hop. And since then I have kind of like deviated to more of like a message driven hip hop, of more of like, just here's what's in my heart, here's the message that like I have, like I know that like I want to, like my relationship with God means a lot, so I'm going to put it in my music, but I'm also going to make this sound as cool as possible, because I really want this to get in people's heads and start repeating itself over and over again. Yeah,
I mean, that's something I definitely want to come back to. I have a question as far as, immediately when people think gospel rap, the first name that comes to everybody's lips is Lecrae.
Yeah,
automatically, he's like, really I want to say the Godfather, pretty much in regards to just the notoriety that he's gained and how he's been able to transition out commercially and do things. Is there things that you picked up off him, or do you find it tough to be able to kind of define your own pocket in regards to people saying, when you say gospel rap, it's like, oh, you like Lecrae, right?
Yeah, I have had that. I don't know, to like my music, like I don't really like, I know that it is Christian hip hop. Like I'm not gonna like deny that, but the love that I've gotten, because I'm one of those Christian rappers who does secular shows. Like I do 90% of my shows at like secular venues that are like non-church venues. So because of that, and I've seen just people rocking with it, buying merch, selling, buying CDs, they're in the crowd, like rocking with it. So I didn't know if people even knew that like I was Christian, but slowly, like people would come up to me and be like, ask me questions like this, or be like, man, you should listen to this rapper, like, oh, like all this other stuff. So I was like, oh, like people do know that I'm Christian. I don't know. That was just like oblivious to me. But back to the Lecrae question, like, yeah, to me, man, like I got to give that guy his flowers. Like he is like nominated for Grammys, like I think he has like 2 Grammys, even nominated in like a non-Christian category one year. I think it was like best urban something, that urban category, but he was nominated there. So all that just gives me fuel and like hope, and like I'm like, dude, look, we can take this and actually put it in realms where there isn't God, or like there isn't really any Christian music, or there isn't anybody with like a godlike perspective. Like we can get into these realms and have like influence, and he's really shown that. And so he's always somebody that like I looked up to. I mean, he's been rocking since like 2005. So I just been following his career, just like cheering him on. I actually just finished his book earlier this year. So yeah, he's in it's interesting though with him, because in the Christian rap world, he's like top tier, number one, top 3 for sure. But then it's weird, like when you go into like the world, the secular realm, he's kind of one of those up and coming like rappers, like people, are like, yeah, like I know of him, but of recently. But meanwhile, this guy's been coming out with albums for like 15 years now. Right.
That's just the mindset of people that listen to hip hop, then they catch something and they go, oh, who's that guy? And then the thing that I think that I know that you pride yourself on, and I think that's similar to kind of Lecrae. I think you think people, when they hear you, they think style first, and I think they think religion second, or Christian rap second, which is a really good hallmark to have with you trying to get music to be able to cross over and to touch everybody. So do you necessarily take pride on just being able to, because you can listen to I can listen to an album, I can listen to a record off Wrose the Occasion, and I don't get the feel that, okay, I know that you have God's love in it, but it's not, you're not just hitting Bible scriptures every 5 minutes with the rhyme or whatever. It's basically you doing the whole song is like beginning to end connected, and it's just like, man, it's just a hip hop joint.
Yeah, and that's what that's why I said like 2013. If you listen to that mixtape, you'll get a lot more of that scriptural joints. You get more of those like, oh, that album was probably, that mixtape was pretty much made for the church. Anybody that's not church would probably just turn that off. But I got to a place where I was just like, like when I fell in love with hip hop, like I was more big on like East Coast rap, metaphors, similes, punchlines, and the dudes from the West Coast that I liked, like Corrupt, like Exhibit, like those guys, the licks, like the more lyrical rappers from the West was who I always kind of gravitated towards.
Right.
So now that when I took that coming into rap, it was just like, I'm gonna bar out, you know what I mean? Like, cause like I gotta do this for the culture, and I know that people are going to respond better when the talent is there, or the love for the hip hop is there. Like I've heard some people say that like, oh, well, just focus on God and just, like it doesn't really matter about, your flow. Or I never understood that. I will never do that.
Right.
You will always get a heavy level of lyricism wherever I go, or like whatever I spit. And I also feel like it's also, to your point, just giving people something clean sometimes to listen to is powerful in itself.
Right.
And so I don't have to just like God this, God that, or, like any of that. Sometimes if I just give you something clean, like my song Cali Boys, like you already know, like I got joints where I'm not talking about God at all. I'm just giving people something clean to vibe out to. And I feel like there's power in that. And, like I always wanted also to be the one that you can play in the car, and parents could play and blast it, and the kids are also in the back seat like, yeah, turn that up, something that they can both like vibe to. So I always saw that. And actually a couple of people hit me up like, yeah, like I slap yourself in the car like a couple of moms, like, right. Yeah, in my van with the kids going crazy in the back. So I'm like, that was exactly what I saw. So yeah, man, I love bars, bro. Like I'll throw them around all day. We went on Nah.
Yeah, man. And there's a funny story about that, because originally, when we met, and we found out that we both was rhyming and whatnot, and I was like, oh man, look, you'd be cool to get a track. So I got you for the feature. So mind you, I'm doing this song, and now I curse in the song, and I'm like, all right, now, and after it's done, I'm like, oh, I want Wrose on this, and I just cursed. I was like, I don't even know if he's gonna want to do this, or whatnot. And I felt really bad, and I was just like, but well, it's done now, so I'll just give it to him. And then he took it, and you just went off and was just like, man, this is dope, yeah, and then went back and did it, and it was just like, I mean, it wasn't like I was just overloading with him, but still, it's just just enough for me to be like, to want to have that respect for you as an artist, to respect the vein that you're in, because you don't, but it still worked. When you listen to that song, it still worked, man. That's one of the dopest tracks one of the dopest tracks I ever done, because of just the symmetry that we had, and how you came on there and you did what you did, man, and how it kind of just fed off of me and whatnot, and it was just dope, man. I just thought it was dope. Yeah.
I mean, bro, like when it comes to bars and it comes to like a true like hip hop joint, like I said, man, like I'm a fan of the culture, like honestly, like if it's like somebody asked me to kind of get on some, like if it was like a twerk song, like I'm probably not going to be the right guy to be on there. But if you're doing something where you're just like, hey man, like let's just get lyrical and things, like, man, ain't nothing you said on there, ain't nothing I never said before. You know what I mean? Like I've said all that before. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not scared of it. Like that doesn't sway me any other way. It was just Like, I thought that was like a super dope track, and you actually gave me the title for my last album, bro.
Yeah, man.
Off of that.
Yeah, so Rose to the Occasion. Go pick that up, man. It's on all major outlets. Please go pick that up. It's a dope album. So speaking of that, we're gonna get into one of the singles that's on the Communion Wine and Champagne, the Embers. We're gonna talk more about the Embers right after this song, and the song is gonna be called Airbrush. Really, really dope track. So check this out.
I'm on a wave like I'm seasick, and still make a splash on a remix. Can't shoot from a weak hip, nah, I'm way too strategic. See, I'm popping out, yeah, I'm popping out. Take it back to 07, I'ma walk it out. I mean, what is there to talk about? I'm really going in, never opting out. I let my yes be yes and my no be no. That's fresh to death, and I kill my pride and my mess to rest. Straight to the sky, I'm extra blessed. Prayers up, get them prayers up. I see all the clouds getting airbrushed. Things finna change, starting with me, and I put that on my name. Jesus peace flow, and I put that on a chain. Still no cap, I'll put that on your brain. Yeah, this is more than a brag. I'll show you what it is, yo. Go and get a can.
Prayers up, get them prayers up. Every cloud over me getting airbrushed. We don't build a wall, but we spray it up. Roll a dice, make a change, yeah, shake it up. Prayers up, get them prayers up. Every cloud over me getting airbrushed. We don't build a wall, but we spray it up. Roll a dice, make a change, yeah, shake it up. I'm fully growed up. Couldn't tell you last time that I throwed up. Half a century of life gone, still blowing up. Who got the glow? I pull up on them like I'm show enough. Get everything they owe us. Love like despite all the hatred that they showed us. I'm everything from J. Cole to Cold Crush. Love when they conscious, pray for them when they doped up. Forget their hands, get their hopes up. Half the wins you get gon' come from just showing up. Burn the whole dang crap, I couldn't smoke enough to numb the pain of fathers that wasn't loving us. Run up in the spotlight, future with my mask off. I take a hostage life show, become a standoff. Walk out with my culture, tell the industry, hands off. I put a bullet in that rhetoric you pass off. Behind offensive line, wisdom getting handed off. I'm in the game for real, player, turn your Madden off. Run up in your town hall, meeting with a Malletol. Liars massage the message, turn the minds of the masses off. Prayers up, get them prayers up. Every cloud over me getting airbrushed. We don't build a wall, but we spray it up. Roll a dice, make a change, yeah, shake it up. Prayers up, get them prayers up. Every cloud over me getting airbrushed. We don't build a wall, but we spray it up. Roll a dice, make a change, yeah, shake it up.
All right, so we back. We just bumped Airbrush. Really dope track, man. So why don't you tell me about, how you tell me about the song first, and how you guys came up with it, and then I'll kind of get the origin story on the Embers.
So Israel Graham, the dude who I'm in the Embers with, he was like scouting beats, and he was kind of like doing the collection of most of the beats on the album. And he presented that one to me. I'm like, man, this is super dope. And I don't think he actually had a chorus for it. So we were both just kind of like writing verses for it. And then we're like, we'll just come up with like a hook. And then there was that part in the my verse where I'm like, prayers up, get those prayers up. I'm seeing all the clouds getting airbrushed. And he was like, that's it. That's the hook, So he kind of like put that into the hook and kind of built around that. And then that's just like how the hook came apart. And I extended my verse to like, I think it was 20 bars, something like that. And then when I hit that end of the 16, I was like, go, da 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 da, go, da 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 go. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna use that for the chorus too. So that's just how the whole thing came about. And then he just barred out on his verse, and it came out really good. It came out super dope.
Yeah, man. So how did the Embers hook up, man? Because shout out to Israel Graham, man. Really, really dope artist. Also gospel artist too. So really appreciate hearing that album. I got to hear that album, man. I really liked it. So tell me how y'all end up getting out on it.
Yeah, well, you also got a beat on there, so that's probably part of the reason why you like it. And shout out to Sam, man, because he got a beat on there too.
Yes, sir. Clouds.
Yeah, he gave me my solo joint. So Israel was somebody that like I met at he invited me to do a show of his in like 2016 or something like that. And I always followed him like ever since then, and then we linked up for like a couple shows since, and I've always just respected his pen game. Like I was like, when he raps, like I listen, like you, like I mean, it's just he's going to give you like some bars whenever he raps. So I always love that. And then on the Wrose occasion, we did a song called Sky's Broken, and then on his mixtape we did another song. I forgot the name of it, but so we were kind of like hitting each other up for features, and then he sends me a text one day and was like, hey, I'm wrestling with the idea of me and you doing an EP together. In my mind, I'm like, bruh, like get out the boxing ring, like let's just make this happen. Like you don't gotta wrestle anymore. Like I've been kind of wanting to do something different with my albums, and I felt like a collab album was what was next for me, whether that was me and another producer or me and another rapper. And he was somebody that I respected, and he respected mine, and like we just kind of just went in and just sending songs back and forth, and yeah, and we came up with like 11 joints, actually 12 joints. One of them didn't make it because I don't think we could clear a sample, but I'm releasing it on SoundCloud tomorrow, and it's actually a title track called Communion Wine and Ship.
All right, cool. We're gonna have to check that out, man. That's cool. So I mean, as far as the dynamic between you two, you guys' styles really play off of each other. I think that Israel probably is the one that he's the hook and you're the jab in the group.
Yeah.
You're very smooth as far as what you do. You have a lot of style and a lot of swag, and I think he's kind of the no nonsense, straight ahead rhymer. So were you guys in the studio a lot when you guys did this album, or is it one of those things where it was just kind of a trade back and forth, and I'm gonna lay it and give it to you and then you send it back or whatnot?
So we did a lot of the way that we made the songs was kind of separate. So he had a studio in his house, and then I have one in mine. So he'll send me like a verse and a hook, and then I'll send him like my verse, or I'll send him like a verse and a hook. So we were sending each other stuff like that back and forth. But then when it came to like actually recording, we would link up together at Omnia Lab on 16th Street. And we would go there, and that's where we recorded like the whole album. So we did all the recording stuff together, but we did most of the writing separate. Some like in studio stuff, like there's a song called which is damn near like my favorite song off the album, but Rock Steady. So we ended up writing that together in the studio, and like if you listen to my verse, it was one of those, man. So yeah, so we just did a lot back and forth, but we were able to link up in the studio for all the recording.
That's good, man. So we gonna get into this game that I've been having all the artists play that come on here, man. And it's you have an album. Well, actually, it's more like an EP because the game is called 4-Track Mind. So we have 4 tracks that we go to. Maybe there'll be a bonus, maybe they won't, but we'll get to that. So as far as for track 1, so we're on a long road trip, and all of a sudden the CD player is broke. We're using CD players right now.
Okay, I'm with it.
You got one CD that's stuck on a continuous loop, man. Is it a College Dropout or Dark Twisted Fantasy?
College Dropout.
Why?
There was a hunger. I love the hunger of new artists, and you get everything from their life at that point and everything before that, everything that they have come up with leading up to that album. And I just felt like that I didn't really like him through the wire. I'll admit, like, I wasn't a fan. I just felt like he was like a producer who thought he was like a dope rapper. And I'm like, I'm not really feeling this like that.
Mm-hmm.
But my boy was like, bruh, College Dropout is fire. So I listened to it and I'm like, bruh, this is fire. So I'll stick with that album just as all the singing, just all the bars, just all the features, and just with Talib and Mos, and for him to be in that position, to give those guys like a verse, like that was huge. That was huge. So I'm rocking with that. My Dark Twisted Fantasy is fire. The first song is probably my favorite Kanye song ever. But
me too.
But yeah, I got to go with College Dropout.
All right. So, you know, we talked about performance, and performance is like one of the lifeblood of just any artist when it comes to that. So I want you to pick what's probably going to be a better situation for you. What's a better situation? If you had a packed out stadium, or you had a festival.
How many people are at the festival?
I mean, you've done festivals before, so I mean, festival or stadium. Which one you right? If Golden One was like, man, we need Kennedy Rose to headline right now, and we're gonna have it packed out for you, the whole Golden One. So you gonna go Golden One, or you gonna go festival?
I'm gonna go festival.
Why would you go festival? What's the deal with
I love music festivals. They're like my favorite thing to go to. Like, I love them. Like, as an artist, I fantasize about them, like just performing at them. I love performing at them. There is a level of just freedom, and people are just there to really have a good time. You're not stuck in a seat. You can move the way that you want to move. You can, like, I feel like as an artist, you can kind of better connect with people, rather than like there being this kind of tiered of like, oh, all the people that could afford floor seats are here, and all kind of like the people that maybe, you know, are just working their butt off, but, you know, can't really afford it, are like way in the back. They'd rather be down there. And just that whole dynamic, like, festivals are like, if you want to be in the front, you can be in the front. If you want to be in the back, you can be in the back. You can be wherever you want to be. And that type of freedom, that's something that I love. There's just a free spirit there that I love.
Cool. So so now we in the track 3, man. We done went through the intro. We at the, you know, we hit the midpoint. Now we hitting that crescendo right now, where track 3, everything, the energy pick up and the take off. So let's say 2 groups were like, man, we're gonna add an additional member. So are you the 3rd member of Mobb Deep or the 5th member of Slaughterhouse?
Oh man. I'm gonna have to go Mobb Deep.
Really?
I'm gonna have to go Mobb Deep. I say that because they were really able to take that street, like, and make it commercial, and get that commercial love that a lot of street dudes struggle with. That I felt like if Slaughterhouse had some more commercial success, they would have been that, like, I feel like more so they would be in the conversation a lot more than they are now.
Right.
Okay. So I felt like Mobb Deep had an ear that could really get them also on the radio. And I love that, like, they would have just like these one-off songs that would just go on the radio, but then the rest of the albums be like gutta. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They knew how to just get to the radio, but they also knew how to stay true to themselves too. And I feel like I would be able to learn more from that than just being with a bunch of lyrical monsters, which would be super dope. But I also would want to learn how to take it, you know, commercial and like really take it to the radio like Mom did.
Okay. All right. So now we hitting the 4-track, getting towards the end of that EP, man. So you know you won a Sammie already. So now you just got the call. You've won a Grammy for Communion Wine and Champagne. So they're having y'all come up. So you stepping to the podium. You and Israel stepping up to the podium. So after thanking God, do you thank father, mother, wife, or kids first?
Wife. Easy.
Good man.
Easy. Easy. I think I gotta think about that one. Easy.
Okay.
Wife first.
All right, man. So I don't know if you do. Okay, so this. So now the bonus track has to do. I don't know if you get down with seafood. You get down with seafood?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay,
yeah.
then I can ask this question. Some people's allergic, so
No.
that would have killed off my whole question. I would have had to remix it. So you eat seafood, man. So after your Grammys, you taking the family. Are we going to Joe's? Are we going to Red Lobster? Are we going to Firehouse Crawfish?
Oh man. Okay. We're not going to Red Lobster. So we're either gonna go to Joe's or we're going to Crawfish. I would say the Crawfish. Only because I've only been there a couple times, like maybe even once, but it was fire.
Yes.
I've done Joe's 1,000 times and it's good every time I go, but man, I think I rock with the Crawfish.
Yeah. Joe's ain't Firehouse, brother. It is not. It is not.
Yeah.
So you just made it through the 4-track mind. So congratulations, man. I have no prizes for you, but you did make it through. You made it through the bonus track or whatnot. So the one question that I missed in the middle. One thing that I think that we have in common is that we are family first.
Yeah.
We are family first. You big your wife up a lot when it comes to stuff. She's been at the shows and she runs your merch table. My wife runs my merch table. How big of an influence has she been on your career and having you continually keeping you driven when you kind of just be like, you know what, maybe this ain't it for me?
Yeah. I mean, huge. I mean, she, like, I wouldn't even have started if it wasn't for her, you know, like I was always the type, like I would tell people like, oh yeah, man, hey, my album's coming out this fall would come around. Oh, my album coming out this winter come around. Oh, this spring come around. Summer. Oh, I got y'all this summer. And it just kept going for years and years and years. And you know, she asked me like, why do you keep doing that? And I was like, well, you know what? I'm honestly scared to death to actually record an album. And I'm like, I don't think that I would, if I did record an album, I wouldn't make anything that people would want to listen to. And I was just honest with how I was feeling, but man, she like really gave me some truth and really just affirmed me as an artist, as a rapper, as, you know, like I was telling you about, just like the desires that God put in my heart and just this passion that I have for it. And so that's when I started slowly building the studio. And so, you know, and that's how this whole thing got started. But in addition to that, man, like you said, she shows up to everything. And she gives me the time, you know, and she gives me the time because if you don't have time, then you can't do music. Like it's not, this isn't just like one of those hobbies that you can just like, it's not like a DIY, just like a regular like DIY backyard project, you know? So she allows me just with the time to like do stuff and like listens to all the music and we'll be like, man, this song, and this song. those are like my favorites. So like the 3 Ember songs that I sent you were the ones that I was like, which 3 am I gonna pick? But it was the 3 that she said she liked the most. Which shout out to you because Style and Era was one of them. So she's just been like instrumental in just like affirming me and giving me time, and you know, just always kind of critiquing where like it needs to be, and then also just bigging me up when she sees like greatness has been executed.
Hey, she is a wonderful human being, man. Every time I see her, always a great time, man. She's so supportive, and I just appreciate. I mean, she's done me some favors and helped me out with some things too. So I appreciate her energy, her passion for what you do, and showing up faithfully, always being there, man. That's just so. You need that if you're gonna be an artist out here, man. You need somebody that's in your corner, regardless, because you're gonna have them shows where 3 people show up, and you're gonna need her to be the 4th.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
singing all the lyrics.
Yeah, right. So that's important. All right, man. So I'm gonna go off the beaten path real quick because I have to ask this question. It's killed me. It's absolutely killed me. So we were talking about Kanye. We know we both love and revere Kanye so much. The recent, I say antics somewhat in regards to kind of commercializing religion a little bit. Do you think that that's the case with him, or do you think this is just some what's your view on it?
I think that he really had a real experience with God that really shifted some things for him and got him. I feel like he was always kind of on the fence with like a couple things. Like that's why Life of Pablo had, I mean, his music always had kind of like a gospel undertone. And I feel like Life of Pablo kind of took that to like, it wasn't just an undertone, like it was kind of more blatant, but then there were certain lines in that album where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is not gospel, you know, like at all. Like it just sounds like it, but if you listen to it, it is not. So I always felt like he always had like a respect, and like he always had that kind of like in him. But I feel like he had like a real experience that kind of like really shifted things for him. And then when he came out with the Jesus is King album, I honestly wasn't that big of a fan of that album. I feel like it was more of he did it more of like, it was a statement to me. It was a statement of like, here is where I'm at. This is where like I'm like headed. I like that he's working with Dre to kind of get Dre's ear ongoing, because I feel like with Kanye's artistic ability, with God's creativity, put that together, I feel like it could be something like really, really, really good. And lastly, the thing I'll say about him is that I love the Sundays, I forgot what they were called, with the shows that he was doing, the Sundays or whatever. I love that because that I feel like showed that if you're a secular artist and you do decide to like move forward with God in your music, you could have still an outlet and you could still perform. You could still throw on concerts and like this whole thing. So he showed that like that was possible to happen, and I love that. I just want to see some better music coming out. That's all.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that I don't think that necessarily the content has tainted what he's doing or changed his genius, because he's a genius musically. One of the if not of our time, probably one of the musical geniuses. Just because of what he can do. I mean, if you find a flaw in Dark Twisted Fantasy, please hit me immediately, because I want to know where it's at, because that was about as close to perfection as you can get. That album just sound the way that it was put together. But I think that in my eyes, he's always fighting against that legacy as he tries to create a new one. So I have a tougher time kind of getting into the newer stuff that he's doing. But still, you can still listen through whatever stuff that you don't like and still understand where the genius comes from, because no one can put songs together like him.
Yeah.
Nobody. You know, so I mean, I get it. All right, man. So I think I done took up enough of your time. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. The song that we're gonna get out of here with is "Style and Error," the song that I produced, that Kennedy gave me my roses, no pun intended. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
So I'm on social media. If you look at like the way that my name is spelled right there, it's just at Kennedy Wrose. Wrose with a W. Don't forget the Rose before the W. But yeah, I'm real active on Instagram. I'm real active on Facebook. My music is literally everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, Pandora. It's everywhere. If you listen to something, you like something, let me know, man. Comment, like DM, like hit me. Just let me know that you're like listening. If you like it, share it. If you're feeling it, comment. Like, just let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Like, I also like that. Like, I also feel like if you don't have haters and you don't have people who don't like your music, then you're not doing it big enough. So I haven't had somebody tell me they don't like my music in a while. So that means like I'm not doing it big enough. So I'm open for all like feedback. Like I want to hear from the people. Like I want to hear from the people because I do music for the people. So yeah, check me out. Let's link. You'll probably see me and Harvey doing some more stuff here in the future. So yeah, I'm Kennedy Wrose, man. Hey.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We're gonna get into Style and Error. A mistake is only an opportunity if you don't make it twice.
Come on.
Have a good night, y'all. Peace.
All right.
I be feeling like I'm so fly till I get shot out the sky. Style and error. Call it style and error. Yeah. I be like a boss with the vision. Still a lot of times I be tripping. It's style and error. Call it style and error. Yeah. The homie said I came a long way. Was weak, now I'm stronger in the faith. I learned to look my problems in the face and own up when I'm making a mistake. I used to get loose in my Charger. See, I had that thing pimped out, but I was still living at my mama crib. And almost got kicked out till I grew up and drew a new plan. Got rid of things I felt was too bland. Raise a toast as we celebrate the growth and the fact that we could thrive in the lows. I be feeling like I'm so fly till I get shot out the sky. Style and error. Call it style and error. Yeah. I be like a boss with the vision. Still a lot of times I be tripping. It's style and error. Call it style and error. Never slowing up on the road to riches. It's not like I got a golden ticket, but a skill and the will to go the distance. Still you wonder why my drive's so proficient. I know what I want, so I'm gunning. From the west coast, 100 miles and running. On this trip, still learning how to listen. God is to call me out when I'm slipping. Cause it's wild in the music scene. Rappers getting lost, chasing down the newest thing. If making music seems to be your truest dream, get your grind on and do it clean. I be feeling like I'm so fly till I get shot out the sky. Style and error. Call it style and error. Yeah. I be like a boss with the vision. Still a lot of times I be tripping. It's style and error. Call it style and error. Yeah.
Oh, you mad cause I'm styling on you. Wait till the world start piling on you. Feel like the sky ain't smiling on you. Cause my clip's loaded Lux and I'm firing on you. Look what the Lord did, third crib, same wife. No addiction but I'm high, look how I float through life. Been broke a couple times but right now I'm tight. Couple Maxim X girls, but made in essence my wife. Excesses cause stress and tension and high blood pressure. Settle for less and succumbing to peer pressure. Overexposure made me lose composure. Lack of discipline brought my ascension to a closure. Pain was a movie, my tears would be the poster. Hang 'em on my verses just to bring folks closer. Food for thought, give nothing but ambrosia. Without God, I'd be nothing, that's full disclosure.
I be feeling like I'm so fly till I get shot out the sky. Style and error, call it style and error. Yeah, I be like a boss with the vision. Still a lot of times I be tripping. It's style and error, call it style and error.